Hello and welcome to English with LJ. I create content that is designed to help you improve your English and take you to the next level, regardless of what level that might be, whether it's A1, B1, or even C1. In this video, we're going to learn English. We're going to do some English learning. And we're going to look at phrasal verbs, how they are used and what they are, and how they are used in the English language. Now, the words that I'm going to say in the explanation, they will come up on screen so that you can follow along. So you can listen to the English, you can read the English, and you can test basically your English reading, your comprehension skills, as well as learning phrasal verbs. So let's go. Now, a phrasal verb is a type of multi-word verb that consists of a main verb combined with one or more particles, a preposition or an adjective. Now, when these particles are added to the main verb, they create a new meaning that can't be inferred from the individual meanings of the words themselves. Phrasal verbs are a common feature of the English language, and they play a significant role in both spoken and written communication, so they are important. Phrasal verbs can be transitive, requiring a direct object, or intransitive, not requiring a direct object. Now, a particle can come before or after the object, depending on the phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs are often used in everyday conversation, and that's why they are important and add nuance and depth to language by allowing speakers to express various actions, emotions, and ideas more precisely. So what I'm going to do is I will give you some phrasal verbs and I will also give you some examples of how they are used in a sentence. So maybe what you could do is press pause after each one and create your own sentence and see whether you can utilize each phrasal verb within a sentence yourself. So let's have a look at this phrasal verb. It's break up. And in this meaning, it's end a relationship. So to break up is to end a relationship. My sister and her boyfriend decided to break up after years of dating. So my sister and her boyfriend, they broke up. They ended the relationship after years of being in that relationship. Another example, they broke up last month and it was a mutual decision. So two people broke up and it was they both agreed to do that. And they broke up, which means they ended the relationship that they were in. Now, see whether you can actually utilize break up in terms of end of relationship in a sentence. Now, you can also utilize breakup as in to divide something into smaller parts. So you can break up the chocolate bar and share it with everyone. So you have a chocolate bar in a full piece, but you can break it up. You can cut it into pieces. So you're breaking up into smaller bits of chocolate, and then you give it to different people. So you've broken up the chocolate bar. The teacher asked us to break up into small groups for the activity. So you have a full class of children, and they are then broken up into smaller groups. So the children, say there are 12 children in the class, they might be broken up into 3 groups of 4. So they break up. So you have 3 groups of 4 children. So they are broken up into smaller groups. So see whether you can utilize this breakup also in your own sentence. Breakup can be disperse or scatter. So you can utilize it. The crowd began to break up after the concert ended. So you have the crowd, which is the full amount of people that are maybe watching a concert. When the concert ends, everybody goes off into their own direction. So the crowd, which is reference to all the people as one, they break up into their individual people or they're little groups of people, and so they've broken up, they've dispersed and scattered away from the concert. As the sun set, the picnic group slowly broke up. So there's a group of people having a picnic, the sun sets, so they're ready to go home. So all the people break up, they go off into their little groups and go home. So they are broke. It's to say it's breakup is disperse and scatter. Now see whether you can utilize breakup in this way in your own sentence. But it's end an event or gathering. So this is very similar. It's basically the same way as the disperse. So the party started to break up around midnight. So again, the party, just like the picnic, it finishes, and so people start to go home. But this one is just on specific in an event or a gathering. After the speech, the conference attendees began to break up and head to their sessions. So this is it's very, very similar in usage. Now we also have a call off. So this call off is utilized for cancel an event or an activity. So due to the heavy rain, they had to call off the outdoor concert. So there was going to be a concert and it was going to be outdoors, but it was really raining. It was very, very heavy. So it was cancelled. So they called off the outdoor concert. So you would just say, well, the concert's been called off because of the rain. Now, similarly, you can say like the soccer match. In England, we call it football. In America, they would use soccer. So the soccer match or the football match was called off because of the storm. So there was a storm happening. The match may have been actually being played at the time. It doesn't necessitate that it was, but it may have happened before the match started, or it can happen during a match. But there's a storm that comes, and so they have to cancel the match. They have to stop the match. So it's called off. But this can also be the ending of a relationship. So the relationship that broke up, they're calling off the relationship, is an end a relationship or engagement. So the couple decided to call off their engagement. So the couple broke up after they decided to call off their engagement, or the couple called off their engagement because they broke up. So again, see whether you can utilize this in a sentence. They called off the wedding just a week before the ceremony. So they were going to get married. They called off the engagement. They've called off the wedding. They've cancelled it. They've ended the relationship. To call off. Cut down. So the phrasal verb cut down is to reduce in quantity or size. I'm trying to cut down on sugar to improve my health. So maybe you have a lot of sugar intake, but you want to reduce that sugar intake. So you cut it down. So you cut down your sugar quantity, your sugar intake. So you reduce it. The company is cutting down on expenses to increase profitability. So they want to increase their profits, so they need to reduce their expenses. So they need to cut down on what they spend. So the company is cutting down on expenses. Maybe that would be giving away free food at lunch for their employees. So they've cut down one of their expenses, so they no longer give away free food. Maybe they need to cut down on the amount of employees that they have. So they get rid of some. So they have 10, now they have 8. They've reduced the quantity of employees. They've cut down on the employees. They've cut down on the expenses. But it also can be decrease the frequency of something. So she decided to cut down on watching TV to have more time for other activities. So Maybe somebody watches television for 2 hours a day, but they need an hour in order to be able to take up learning a language. So they cut down on their television time, cut down on how long they're watching television. So an hour, they've cut it down to an hour. So now they have an hour spare that they can learn a language. So this is cutting down to reduce the frequency of something. So it can be the reduce the quantity of something, but also decreasing the frequency of something. So you could utilize these two together, and you have I'm cutting down on the amount of sugar by cutting down on the amount of sugar bars that I have, chocolate bars that I have. So let's say you eat 3 chocolate bars a day, but you're going to cut down to 2. So now you're decreasing the quantity, but also decreasing the frequency of how often you eat a chocolate bar. So I'm cutting down on eating out to save money. So maybe I go out 3 or 4 times a week to a restaurant, but now I'm only going to go out twice a week because I want to save money. So I'm cutting down on the amount of time that I go out in order to save money. To cut down is trim or remove unnecessary parts. The gardener had to cut down the overgrown bushes in the backyard. So let's say the bushes in somebody's garden are growing out of control. They would be cut down. The parts of that tree or the bush that no longer are needed, they're cut down, trimmed back to make it more lean. The city decided to cut down the old trees to make space for a new park. So there's some trees, but they are going to cut them down. They're going to get rid of those trees by cutting them down to make space for a new park. Give up. Now, this means to quit or stop doing something. So after years of smoking, he finally gave up the habit. So somebody might say, I don't want to smoke anymore. I need to give up. I need to give up. So gave up is obviously past tense, is something that's already been done. I gave up smoking. I want to give up smoking. When it's done, I have given up smoking. I gave up smoking. She gave up playing the piano when she went to college. So this is obviously past tense of give up, but just give up is to quit doing something. This could be something that you want to do. I want to give up eating chocolate. But it also can be to surrender or relinquish something. So the suspect decided to give up and turned himself in. So he's basically being chased, or somebody is wanted by the police, and they give themselves up. They rather than wait for the police to come to them, they go to the police. So they surrender, they give up, they give themselves up. The army was outnumbered and had to give up the battle. So in a war, one side is losing, and rather than continue on fighting, they give up. So they stop, they surrender. Set up, arrange or organize something. So they need to set up a meeting to discuss the project details. They need to arrange a meeting, they need to organize a meeting, so they need to set it up, create it basically. So they need to create a meeting, they need to set up a meeting between two companies maybe to discuss the project details, or the employees of the company need the manager is setting up a meeting for all the employees to go to. She set up a surprise party for her friend's birthday. So her friend is having a birthday party, and she wants to have a birthday surprise party. So she's going to set that up. And it's maybe a surprise one. Maybe it doesn't have to be a surprise party. It could be one, but to set it up, to create that birthday party. Now, again, let's see whether you can create a sentence with set up in that context. But it can also be establish or create something. So they decided to set up a new company in the tech industry. So if you wanted to create a YouTube channel for yourself, you would set up a YouTube channel. It's to create something, a new company, a new YouTube channel, just to set something up, to establish or create something. The organization was set up to provide aid to disaster-stricken areas. That might be a new charity or company that was set up, created, established. Looking forward to something, looking forward to something. It's to have this is a very, very common phrasal verb in English. Looking forward to it, looking forward to something. It just means to anticipate with excitement something. So you would use this when you have that anticipation. You're something is going to happen in the future, and you don't want to wait for it. You can't wait for it. You're looking forward to that thing. So I'm looking forward to my vacation next week. British English would use holiday rather than vacation. This is American English. Next week, I really need a break. So you've booked a holiday, a vacation, and you're looking forward to it. It's next week. It isn't yet. But you're looking forward to that holiday. She's looking forward to the concert. It's her favorite band. You've just booked tickets to your favorite band. They're having a concert. It's next month. You have to wait, but you're waiting with anticipation and with excitement. So I'm really looking forward to going and seeing whoever next month. They're my favorite brand, my favorite singer. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. Turn down. So this can be utilized in reject or decline an offer. So she had to turn down the job offer because it required relocation. So she may have got the job, she applied for the job, but the job means that she has to move house. She has to move from one city to the other, maybe. And it's not something that the person can do. So they have to decline it. They reject the offer. So they turn it down. They say no. They turn down his proposal for a new project. So somebody in the company maybe goes and says, right, let's do this. We need to create this. And the management have said, no, we can't do that. Maybe for finances or maybe it's not a good enough idea. So they turn down the proposal. They reject it. They decline that proposal. But it also can be utilized for lower the volume or in intensity of something. So can you please turn down the music? It's too loud. Maybe your next door neighbor is playing music very, very loud on the radio or on their television, but it's too loud. So can we turn it down? Can you reduce the volume of the television, of the music, of whatever is being played that's too loud? So can you turn it down to lower the volume? He turned down the TV so he could focus on his work. So this is just, again, to reduce the volume of something, to lower the volume. To work out. So this is, again, a very popular usage is exercise or engage in physical activity. So I'm working out. I like to work out. I try to work out at the gym 3 times a week. So working out is I like to exercise at the gym 3 times a week. She works out in the mornings to stay fit. So somebody might work out in the morning. They're exercising in the morning. They're going to the gym to stay fit. So it's physical activity or usually with weights, and you would say, I like to work out. But it also can be utilized with solve or resolve a problem. The team is working out the details of the new project. So let's say that project wasn't declined, it wasn't turned down, wasn't rejected, and now the project has been agreed upon, but now they need to look at the details. They figure out the details of the project. So the team is now working out the details of that new project. They're trying to work out the issues in their relationship. So let's say that the couple have uh, maybe they've called off their engagement or their relationship, but they don't really want to end the relationship. So they know that they've got problems, and so they're going to try to work them out. They're going to try and resolve those problems and see whether they can maybe get back together again. So they're going to work out the issues. Maybe you have a puzzle and you need to work out how to put it together, or you have a maths equation that you don't know the answer to, so you need to work out the answer. It can be achieve a positive outcome. So the negotiation seemed difficult at first, but it worked out well in the end. So it was difficult, but the outcome is okay. So it was worked out. They were able to work something out. Despite the challenges, everything worked out fine. So let me know in the comments, how did you do? Were there any phrasal verbs there that you've not come across before, or maybe a phrasal verb with a different usage in a different way? Because, like I say, some of the phrasal verbs have more than one meaning as well. They can be used in different ways. How did you get on? Were you able to use them? Did you create your own sentences? Post them in the comments. Let other people see the sentences that you've created. Is there a video that you want me to do, that you want me to look at? Is there a subject that you want me to create a video and explain? Let me know in the comments. I'll try and get to it and see whether we can create that video. I'm here. I want to help you improve your English, so it's important that I create content that is going to help you improve your English. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to be kept up to date with future videos. I do have Patreon, where I have a lot of material available on there. That is, I have three levels that you can join. Each one has different amounts of material on. If that's something that you would be interested in, please go and have a look at my Patreon. There's a link in the description. There is a lot of material available to help you improve your English, tests, reading materials, study materials to help you learn English better. I also have an ebook that is available that is to take you from A1, A2, or to concrete your level of A2, or cement your level. It's available on most Amazon channels, but it's also available free in Patreon as well. So if you join Patreon, you will have access to this course that is this ebook course. So you can either download it from Amazon, where there is a charge, or you can get it free from my Patreon. Thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated, and I will look forward to seeing you on my next video.